and making the time to make a submission as well. Thank you. I've next got the Governor's Bay Jetty Restoration Trust. Is this you, Simon?
That's me.
That's you, okay.
Thank you very much. I had understood we were getting 10 minutes. So
you are, because you're a group.
We're a group.
That's the difference, yes.
That's fine. My name is Simon Mortlock. I am a member of the board of the Governor's Bay Jetty Restoration Trust. My fellow board members, I'm going to speak for about 6 minutes, but my fellow board members are a talented group of individuals.
Do they want to come with you, or?
Yes, sorry?
Well,
they'll come up individually and introduce themselves, because I haven't got enough chairs here at the table to come with them.
Feel free to just steal any that you want to. But you've got 10 minutes in total, you understand?
Thank you, that's right. Yeah. So they're a talented group of individuals who will introduce themselves following presentation, highlighting their skills necessary to repair the jetty. We're a group, we're a well-organised group. Lots of people have expressed support and agreed to contribute to this repair. This is evident very close to home. Today is my 43rd wedding anniversary. When I asked Belinda to excuse me from my usual dinner date, and having forgotten to buy her a present, her response is typical of that commitment. Say the jetty is all I want, not a big ask. The jetty is a popular destination for people from throughout Christchurch. How many councillors have actually walked along it and admired it in the views of Littleton Harbour? Oh, that's good, because those who haven't, I should suggest, should possibly get out into their own backyard, and also possibly excuse themselves from this process. We have lost so much in our built environment that was once so familiar. Closed off buildings, streets, and of course the jetty, lying in disrepair, are continuing reminders of what we have lost. A sense of place, so important to us, is preserved in those places we protect and we love. The jetty is such a place. What do I press? Okay. I meant to give you a sense of ambience here with the pictures. What we have lost has been offset by a sense of community, doing things together with a common purpose. That sense of community commitment is a critical component in a healthy recovery. This is all known. I'm not going to dwell on the jetty's amenity value. The unique experience of a 300-metre walkway over water in a stunning setting, the benefits of restoring the jetty are obvious. We know from experience, and you will know it from our submissions, hopefully. Thank you. The questions that remain of concern are: what contributions will be made by council? What contributions will be made by the community? And over what period of time the jetty be restored? They're the three questions which I pose to you. The Trust proposes a partnering relationship expressed through a memorandum of understanding where both parties make meaningful commitments. The relationship offers significant benefits: the raising of monies, the contribution of new skills, community engagement. Spending your own money for the public good focuses one's mind on a number of issues, like never before. You seek value for money. You question how things might be done better. You want a say in the process. You want the public purse to make a reasonable contribution. And you do not argue what should have been done, but rather what can be done. The board of the Trust has examined the reports and other information available to it. We recognise there is a need for further investigation, particularly surrounding the repair methodology and costing. Since the February meeting, the board has met, with two exceptions, every week. There has been countless discussions about outside those meetings. We have raised the awareness of the public. We have canvassed fundraising opportunities already. We've already raised monies and sold T-shirts. I haven't bought one yet. They're running out of stock. Websites up and running, press and TV interviews. We have, however, concerns about surrounding the costings and repair strategy, and this is, I think, is a good example of what needs to be done, that are outlined in the Council's OSAL report. I don't know how many of you read it. The report says it will take 225 working days to repair the jetty by 10 workers. Projected labour costs total $1.6 million, plus a 15% contingency to cover extensions. That is equivalent, without including the contingency, that equates to $70,000 per day, or $700 for each worker, whether that be a person who holds up the flag, the specialist on the drill, whatever. $700 per day for that. That's equivalent of about $180,000 plus per annum per worker. We think we can do better. The report proposed the jetty be restored from barges on the sea, reliant on the tide and conveying men and materials from Littleton each day. Our engineers, on the other hand, are of the view that the jetty can be restored from the land as opposed to from the sea. This will take less time and get early runs on the board. It's all about asking the right questions and getting the right investigation going. The report suggests that trucks delivering services and materials to the site could not turn in the area at the base of the jetty. Rex Geddes, well known in the transport industry, who's on our board, challenges that view from his own experience. There again, we have also offers of support, offers of practical help and money, an opportunity to source hardwood at competitive rates already. We've assessed our ability to raise money. This is what it's all about. We've assessed our own ability to raise money. We've spoken with those experienced in fundraising and started that process already. We have Dennis Ulrich on the board, and who's well versed in this challenge. I similarly have experience both from acting for philanthropic trusts as well as in raising monies for not-for-profit sector. But we cannot do it alone. While we expect significant savings to be made, a significant sum still needs to be raised. We need mostly to be realistic. Those who contribute funds need to believe this total sum is achievable. The Council will need to contribute. The Council's contribution will encourage public funding, community involvement and commitment. Council, and for whatever we can gauge, currently intends to put off the work until about after 2023 or beyond. By that date, it will not be a repair, it will be a replacement, costing vastly in excess of what is now envisaged. We will lose the opportunity for the restoration to be part of the city's recovery. The cost will pose a further burden on the taxpayer, on the ratepayer. It is far better for Council to contribute now the sum of $1.50 for every $1 raised by the Trust. It is $1.50 for every dollar raised by the Trust. The OSL report was helpful in one respect. The cost of demolishing the jetty would likely be in the region of $800,000. It is far better, I suggest, to contribute to the recovery than to its destruction. The restoration of the 300-metre long jetty is a major undertaking. It is far greater than any other jetty that we've been talking to in the Banks Peninsula, apart from the Acrow jetty, of course, and of course the harbour, the port. But it is the most significant contribution in growth. The community, both of Governor's Bay and of the Peninsula, and we believe of wider Christchurch, I suggest are prepared to give that commitment. They're prepared to give that commitment of community involvement, provided that the jetty be restored in 3 to 4 years, the community contributions be given over 3 to 4 years, and most importantly, the Council make a contribution of $1.50 for every dollar raised by the community, a sum in the order of $1,875,000 at worst. We think it will be significantly less than that. We're not saying we want a particular sum of money. We think if we can make the savings, that will be borne also by the community at large through the Council. But we're talking about a partnering relationship. We're talking about a commitment to contribution. Thank you. Now, I'd just like to introduce those of my fellow board members who are here briefly. How am I going for time? I must be... One of the dangers of having that picture up in front of us that loses time. 2 minutes to go. No.
Good evening. Hello there. I'm Nick Harwood. I am a chartered professional engineer specialising in geotechnical earthquake engineering, foundation engineering, design risk management and related subjects. And I'm on the Trust. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Phil Jackson. I started life as a land surveyor with the Christchurch City Council, actually. I now work putting technology onto construction machines, positioning technology. I believe that a large part of the piling process is spent surveying the positions and positioning the piles. By using GPS and other electronic techniques, we can do this better and cheaper.
Hello, I'm Rex Geddy. I am the manager of Banksmanship Transport. I've lived on the peninsula all my life. The Gebbies originally came out before the first 4 ships. Governor's Bay is very passionate to us, and I bring to the Trust a lot of experience as a practical person and for transport of materials in. I know how we can do it safely and economically.
Hello, I'm Dennis Aldridge. I'm currently CEO of Living Springs. I'm also a member of the Littleton Mount Herbert Community Board. I have some experience in fundraising, also in mobilising communities around a common cause, and we are very much of the persuasion that this partnership model can really work. We fully understand the challenges that this council faces in the post-quake era, but we believe this could be a model for a number of other initiatives as well going forward, and we really believe that together we can make this happen. Yeah.
Hi, I'm Louisa Reeves. I'm a professional writer, and I've written about health and safety law and employment law for 20 odd years. So what I bring to this project is communications. I'll maintain the website, communicate with the community, and write thank you letters. And also, my husband is a senior project manager for Airways, and he's offered to manage the project. So, two
He's
for
a great
one.
blogger.
Good evening, everybody. Thanks for your time. I'm Nick Dugan, consultant civil engineer. The other Nick, we have a similar taste in shirts and jumpers, by the looks of it, and a similar interest, obviously, in repairing the jetty in an appropriate form. It's quite disappointing to stand before you as an engineer to suggest some costings are perhaps done on the back of a fag packet, but I think in this instance it may be to the detriment to the jetty, and that's a very important point to us. Also, in his absence is Nigel Hillier. Some of you may be familiar with Nigel. He's perhaps watching on TV, so hi Nigel. Up in Wellington tonight, and he has a particular interest, obviously, in seeing the psychosocial benefits of the jetty being restored. It's a huge important part to our community, as it is to the broader community of Christchurch. And yeah, I think we've made our point this evening, and we wish you all the well in making the right decision. Thank you.
Thank you.
Very short question. The people of New Brighton had a problem with a pier years ago, and actually called the council's bluff, I suppose, in the end, that if we raise X amount of dollars, will you match it? And thinking, I think, that council wouldn't, the community, I should say, wouldn't raise it. Would your trust be more amenable to sort of looking at the overall cost of this project and saying, well, it's going to cost X amount of dollars. If we raise this amount of money, will you put in the rest?
Well, I think the important thing is that we think it's a partnering relationship whereby we contribute a certain proportion, so it's a $1 for $1.50, and we raised the figure not accidentally, but after careful consideration. We basically looked at how much we could raise within the Governor's Bay community. We analysed who the population was, the income earnings of that community. The 800 people, we knew how many families there were, what the income spread was. So we identified what we thought we could raise through the Banks Peninsula generally community, and then we looked at Greater Christchurch. We looked at what philanthropy would give. We've analysed this to death, and we've taken an analysis from fundraisers themselves. As I say, I'm familiar with that area. So it wasn't sort of a figure plucked out of here and said, how much do you reckon we can push out of the council? It was really a carefully considered sum, which was to be raised over a 3 to 4 year period. We think we can do it in 3 years or less. But but most importantly, we want to be realistic. We didn't want to simply raise expectations and then fail in that outcome. And so, we are a determined bunch of people, but we're not prepared to be careless in our calculations.
And it's not just the money. We want to bring expertise to this too. We believe innovative techniques and new techniques that weren't available to the council engineers that considered this 2 years ago, but are available now, can substantially reduce the cost. So we want to bring that.
I think it's just, I'm a bit confused because you've got a lot of pro bono work obviously being chucked at this, have you?
Yeah, that's all pro bono.
How much? So is your table here in
that doesn't include pro bono.
No. So this is all basically materials.
That's cash.
It's all material cost. Capital.
Our contribution, you'll see through our submission, is a cash commitment. It doesn't include, we haven't sort of value added the pro bono work, which would be very significant.
No, so what you left with in your costings is actually for materials.
Materials and labour. I mean, there will still be a labour cost. I mean, we're not suggesting that. I mean, I'm at my grand old age, can't be expected to put in piles, but no, I think we're expecting that professionals will. What we're saying is we have the expertise, the professional expertise, to both deliver the outcome, but not necessarily physically do it ourselves.
But I must say that even though I have been there, was quite a few years ago, I didn't realise it was such a long jetty. It's massive, 300 metres.
Well, it's the same length as New Brighton. I think New Brighton's 300 metres too.
Is it?
And at low tide, it still goes dry, but it enables you to get to the water plus or minus 5 hours of high tide instead of plus or minus 1.5 to 2 from the beach.
Just one final point, just on costing, how amazing these things are. The $700 per day assumes that you've got to, hopefully, you would normally assume a full day's work. But everyone knows that tides come and go. And I would suggest that the actual tide, the ability to actually work and get barges back and from Littleton, I would suggest that it's a maximum of 7 and a minimum of 5 each day. I mean, where these costs come from, I could give you other examples. Well, no, I've really done my dash there, I think.
Thank you very much, Lee.
Thanks. Thank you, yes. Yeah. Thanks.
Thank you.